learned.
I know. Well, tomorrow.
Chuck very graciously let me use this shoulder again.
Okay.
Larry, how are you?
Yeah, it's got the big birthday tomorrow, boy. It's gonna be old.
Every day alive is a birthday.
Oh my gosh, what are you hitting, Bill?
Take a guess.
50?
No,
That's very gracious.
I'm not that much older than him.
Very gracious.
I mean, it's bad now, but.
Boy, you get it down.
30.
Yeah, right.
Times 2.
Times 2, okay. Fair enough. All right, sorry.
I hate trouble. Sorry, I tell you what, I haven't aged a bit since 26.
Sorry, I don't think you got it.
Wasn't a member, so
He tells me so. You still look the same.
well, matter of fact, you do as well, Lloyd.
Yeah.
We all look the same.
Everybody that I knew that the voices are like, I don't know.
Yeah. Because kind of don't want to go in there.
Probably cool to do something, you know.
Suzy, thank you for asking all 90.3.
I really thought you were out to hurt yourself yesterday. Early in the morning. Yeah. And then what, I was gonna run over there and help you, but someone needed.
I think where at?
Over in the parking lot, and like I kept looking, and it was early in the morning. I'm like cleaning the white horse, and I'm like, "Oh, Bill, what are you doing now?" And I was like, "Oh, Bill."
I rolled up rubber mat and my kids.
Girl.
So I was like, I went to go out the front door, and it was like, then I see this kid and this lady come towards me.
She says, "Can I help you?" I said, "I'm yeah, no."
Yeah, it was like. Here.
Up here. Not landed in there.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh my gosh, I was almost finished. I just crapped out on this here.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Oh, Chuck.
I broke my lawn.
Do you have Tuesday or Thursday off?
What's that?
Do you have Tuesday or Thursday
I
off?
didn't get
I'm working all day.
Maybe I'll stop by and give him a drink. I'll let you share it with Suzy.
We're gonna probably do this.
Totally right.
Yeah. Would you like a Metamora? Spruce up. Okay. Last year. It's that's not even ours today, so I think he's gonna do this at the start, so Wednesday. I was full time here, I was working.
Because those kids will go, they can stop.
Where's your sister? Oh, you left her home?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, crazy. She chose to stay at home. Found the luscious, unattended child.
So you know David Glasgow house on French Street? Frank.
Which one? One of the 5.
Crossed on my phone, unfortunately.
Well, like old ones. Anyways, they were just in the store. And he as a little boy. He looks at me and he goes, "We just bought breakfast." I was like, "Yeah, we bought her."
So he's something these days.
So I said, "Well, I guess I've never been saying she's for sale."
I miss you, but I don't know what I don't, I'm guessing you don't miss us.
Well, you know, I do.
Miss people, but not.
I know.
I just notified the team, a little form I normally form. But thank you. I'll let you do
I
that.
felt like I had a purpose, you know. Sorry, that was me trying to push you in like something. So. Thank you. Sure, close the time.
That's what I heard. You got any cameras today? Yeah.
She's not coming. She's in Italy.
Oh.
I want to be with her.
We could have made her Zoom.
Don't make it sound like a problem.
She told me a couple weeks ago that she couldn't be here tonight. She's gonna be in Italy. I'm like, oh, sorry for your luck.
Yeah.
Right.
Most of us are still gonna be somewhere else, but we're not.
I can't complain, we just went to Quentin Cruise and so it was something else that was a huge wedding, or it's two large families merging, but Hayden Country Families who turned out lived here for a while.
Oh, really?
In Metamora.
Very nice.
Chuck Evans?
Yeah.
It's his son, one of the veterans.
Oh.
Yeah, he moved to restaurant, and Hayden's like, I like your outfit. So he's talking about it, and he came in there. She girls go to school together, and my sisters, but she had a little friend. And he's like, where do you go to school? And it's getting a little comfortable, like.
Yep, 7:00, call the meeting to order. Please all rise, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Police report, sir.
Good evening, everyone. For March 2026, the Metamora Township Police Department had 430 calls for service. 27 of those incidents were here in the village, mostly traffic stops, business checks, a couple alarms, subdivision checks. Something notable was on the 21st, we had a suspicious call at about 2:11 in the morning at 18 Jamestown. We had some, turned out to be kids knocking on doors. They were wearing masks, and went up to the ring cameras. Everything checked out, but we had our drone and some things out there, and but everything did work out. A couple other things, I mentioned it before, make sure you check out our new website. You can do the property checks and request our speed trailer. I don't know if you guys have seen the speed trailer out. It's on North Oak right now by the Lions Hall, and we're getting some good data. I have some graphs and some charts with some different showing the speeds, some of the trends. If anyone's interested in them, we can take a look. Also, prior to last week, we had the trailer sitting on Dryden Road near 24. That wasn't really for getting people's speeds. We were doing a traffic count and averaging about 4,200 cars a day coming eastbound on Dryden towards the village. Now I can't tell you who turns off, before they get to the village, but still more cars than I was expecting. So that's really all I have. Unless you have anything for me.
Council, have any questions? Not, keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fire report.
So last month we had pulled 26 runs, 11 fires, 13 medicals, and 1 PA. The fire, we had 4 down wires, 2 alarms, 1 CO investigation, 1 assisted driving, 2 assisted to repair, and 1 fire here in Metamora. And PI in the village. Not quite sure, can't remember exactly what that was. But.
Thank you. County Commissioner tonight. Planning Commission do anything?
Well, canceled the meeting, nothing on the agenda.
You had a meeting, but nothing was on the agenda.
True, thank you. Just getting so mad that we don't do anything, it's, thank you, yeah. Almost 10-minute meetings.
Okay, DDA, I didn't make it, so.
We got the check for that.
Okay.
For the money for the well. There was, Victor donated a sleigh for us to put out on 24 during, the holidays to get decorated. It wasn't a lot, actually.
Are you done, Jan?
Yeah, go ahead.
The only other thing is, the park excavation, just waiting for it to dry out. Shouldn't take that long, but a couple, 2-3 good days of dry before the native land is moved.
See where it dried.
That's it.
Okay. Attorney report, probably everything's down below.
That it is.
Council communication.
I did meet with DTE. Me and Nick actually both met with them. We do have a new pool out here in front. It's actually a new style. I don't know if you've actually even noticed, but it's quite similar to the old one unless you actually pay attention and look at it. Because we can no longer get the current ones we had that were special orders, so we have a new one. And in the meantime, the one that they had to take from here had parts that we could use, and another one that had been out that we couldn't get the parts for. So I have that. We had a resident question about the sidewalk across the road here, how it kind of just dead ends, and then there's like a light pole, and then the crosswalk that comes over to it kind of goes into like the entranceway to the service road or the old railroad tracks. You can't move the light pole, so you can't really extend it straight out how it is, but I was thinking, and I know I talked to Lloyd and I talked to Chuck one day when I was just happened to be out here, we could maybe go out and around it to get up into that area. It's something to look at. Obviously, it wouldn't be a job we would do alone. It'd be if we were doing other concrete work. So, just a thought. And then we're going to be discussing with the engineer about what we can do up here on High Street.
About High Street repair to try to do something. We need to get the engineers involved. We can't just do it with our coal patch.
No, and as a Class A road, so you have to get the engineers involved and see what our options are. Heading west out of town, it's really bad on the right-hand side. So, yes, it's going to be a nice, costly project, but it definitely needs to be done. So, but that's where we're at with this.
So far, there's no grants floating around that we can see.
Not that we're eligible for.
Right. So, but we're gonna try to do something about it. Yeah.
Yes.
So, nothing else on council communications then. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
I moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yes. Public time.
I'll go first. Karen Brashiko. I live here in the village. I want to remind everybody there's still a lie on the sign in Metamora Community Park. It says it was established in 2025. It was not. It was officially established in 2016 by resolution, but it was purchased as a park in 2013. So I will keep reminding you of that lie until it is changed, because again, it could affect grants, but it's just really, I mean, we have to trust you to tell us the truth about our water when you can't even tell us the truth about the park. My question today, because I heard a rumor, is how was that pole knocked down? That was down for a couple months out there. Because, and you can, confirm or deny this later, but I heard it was Nick Holden, DPW Nick Holden. And gosh, if only someone had warned you multiple times that Nick Holden's driving is problematic. And that someone who warned you, me, has a lot of experience supervising drivers, particularly young ones. And I noticed a lot of things, and I filed a whole bunch of complaints about that. And listen, I know with snow plowing, things can happen, but that's what I heard. So it'd be great if you would confirm that or deny it. Because you just said it got knocked down at the meeting. So typically you would have said, you know, a resident or someone coming through knocked it down, that kind of thing. So that was passive voice that got knocked down. And have you checked his driving record, by the way? Because I absolutely would have. So with the Lions, at the last meeting, the Lions didn't have their insurance certificate when they turned in a special event application. Was that turned in? It'd be great to hear if that was turned in and actually reviewed thoroughly. I want to note that at the last meeting, when Mr. Richardson was addressing you guys and he went a little bit over, you just let him go over and you were polite about it, versus me, you cut me off mid-sentence until I stopped talking. And again, it's normal in a meeting like this that you just let someone finish their sentence after that 3 minutes. So your ORV complaint this month is lighter. That's mostly because I was out of town and the weather was bad. But, you know, March kind of made up for it. March was huge. But we'll see. It would be great if that was a trend and you put me out of business and I don't have to report things anymore. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But so I know that municipalities have to have their websites ADA compliant by a deadline, and I'm wondering if you started that process, because it seems to take a very long time around here to get things done. I mean, over 2 years to get the lagoon dredged. We're still waiting on the well. Hopefully we have good news on the well. By the way, after the last meeting, you said you were going to talk to Kurt Swanson from Eagle that week, and it would be great to get an update about that, about the well permit. And I wanted to make a comment about the DDA budget, because I get the packets for the DDA meetings, and I noticed a lot of money was going to buying pizza and refreshments for the people at the car show there. And I just, you know, I was wondering if that's really a worthwhile endeavor to be putting that much money out there, how much is coming back into the village. Thank you.
Thank you. Time.
Good evening, my name is Maureen Flanagan Salico, and I am running for District Court Judge. I know you met Mr. Richardson another week. As you may know, Judge Barnard is retiring this year after 36 years. I am currently the court administrator and magistrate. I've been with the county for 6 years in my position. I've been an attorney for 20 years. I've been with the county almost 11 years. Prior to coming to the county, I was in private practice and handled mostly family law, criminal law. But I've been a Lapeer County resident for 30 years. I live in Hadley Township with my husband. We have 3 sons. So I'm very excited to be running for this position. I'm fortunate enough to have all the support of all of the judges. Judge Barnard is endorsing me, Judge Hodges, Judge Nolan, Judge McCarthy, and retired Judge Scott. If you have any questions for me afterwards, I will be here if you would like me to answer anything for you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Time. I guess we'll move on. Unfinished business. Water main extension.
I would say that's still on a hold until we get the well issues addressed, so probably makes more sense to go talk about the well at this point.
I didn't know that they've been working on, in the back end, on their end, on some of the engineering things.
There were some engineering updates that are going back and forth, and they are working through some of those. Obviously not at a position to present to the council as of yet, again, in part due to the need to finalize the well issues.
Well, number one.
You want me to speak or you?
Go for it.
Okay, so as of Thursday, we finally got the approval letter from Kurt Swenson from the Eagle. He had went back and forth. He was working on it, and then about 2 weeks later, I still hadn't heard anything, so I got a hold of him again. He's like, oh yeah, now it's being finalized. It just seemed like it was a lengthy process, but we do finally have the approval letter. They're gonna get, as soon as they can, they're gonna start the test well. I don't know if you heard of it from them.
I have not heard from them. I was not in my office today. I was at a conference, but I've not heard.
And they were going back and forth with Kurt Swenson also, trying to find out as soon as they could get the approval letter so they could do the test well. Because they have to do a small test well before they drill the big
12
the well. Just to make sure, you know, the aquifer is good.
Makes a lot of sense, you know, making sure what kind of water is getting in.
So as soon as they do the test well and everything, you know, testing and everything comes back clear, then we can move on with the actual well. So
Things are finally moving.
Do we have any idea timeframe?
No, because we were waiting on, we had to get the approval letter before they could even schedule it.
You had to
I just
get
didn't
state
know if
approval first.
But they know, they said this is like number one on their priority list, that they wanna get us in, so. And like I said, we just got that on Thursday afternoon, like.
Did we ever get the well pump that we refurbished back?
No. It's not a dead issue. Brian was supposed to be getting a hold of Peerless, to double check again. And I know we were gonna maybe send a letter from the attorneys, but Brian's like, well, let me have one more chance, maybe I can get it from them. And I know even our well driller itself knows them kind of well, and he was going to try to reach out to them and see. So, thank you for the reminder.
When I talked to Dan, I reminded him that he said that, you know, that we were gonna turn the attorneys after him before long, you know. So he said, I'll pass that along. But it's been 2 weeks since I talked to Dan now myself personally, so.
Do you have anything to add?
I do not at this point.
That's all I got about, well, for now.
Okay.
F&B contract agreement.
So, I know last month I gave you guys a copy of the agreement. I did not put it in the packet again this month. I guess I should have asked you to either bring it back or let me know if you needed another copy. I did meet with, this is Catherine Wynn from F&B. I met with her to go over some of the questions I know that I had on it. We did discuss some of the pricing issues, and I know there's also F&B invoice questions on this, which we did get resolved, but that is a separate item on the agenda. So the questions I had, the concerns I had as far as the agreement, they've been followed up on, we've hashed them out. And I know you had a couple of questions as far as the professional service agreement and the back part. Did those get answered, do you know?
I know we sent those to the village. I
Okay.
have not seen a response on that, as far as that goes, so I'm not sure. Like I say, I know there was communications that you were having with
Correct.
her, but I don't know the status of some of those issues. Or, again, some of those were informational issues, some of those were
Right.
just be aware of for the council.
But I know, like I said, my questions, my concerns got addressed, that I had when she came in and had a sit-down meeting with me. Does the council have any questions for her as far as the proposed water and sewer operations agreement?
Is it still sitting in the same price?
No.
No.
That price had some, so long story short, which is kind of includes number one on new business. We hadn't been getting billed since last October, so we had November, December, January, February, we had months that they were rolling into that price of shortage pay, basically. Got brought to their attention, we hadn't gotten billed, so they had done it that way when they were proposing the agreement. We talked, I'm like, I don't wanna do it that way. I wanna pay for our shortage up front, the months we didn't get billed for up front, and go from there. You know, I don't want that rolled in, cause then who says, yes, that's rolled in to cover the last 5 months, but then when they go to do another agreement, they're just gonna tack an additional on top of that. And we didn't wanna see that happen. So we went back and forth a couple times. Can I talk about number one? Cause
I think you can. At the end of the day, the two are pretty tightly intertwined.
So we went back and forth, and Ms. Wynn had gotten me a copy of like basically an invoice that stated that there was shortages, which I didn't agree to. I know you guys got a copy of the email. We have discussed it. She's discussed it with the higher ups. She went a couple people above at F&B and got it to where the November through April amount would be what we were originally paying, the $6,166. I don't remember the change, don't quote me, I know it's in one of my emails. Yeah, so we would pay that amount, $6,166.24 for those months, which would be a total of the $36,997.44, which we would have normally been paying every month had we been receiving bills. And then from here on out, if we chose to do the new agreement, you said that amount was gonna be,
Yeah, I haven't finalized it with
Okay.
anybody, but you and I talked, it's significantly reduced from what is in that proposal.
because in the proposal, it's,
Yeah, the proposed amount was like $9,600 a month,
right,
and it is gonna be significantly reduced from that. You know, so that we wanna work with the village on that, you know, and then have a clean copy of an agreement going forward. I have not seen anything. The only, question, that Tina asked me about was who the village contact person was in any terms and conditions, and that's obviously something that you guys would decide who our liaison is, you know, whether it's the clerk or the village council president or whoever that person is, so that's why that's blank. If there are any other questions that you have for terms and conditions from a legal standpoint, you know, you can forward those to me. We can work them out internally if there need to be any amendments to that professional services agreement, but we are gonna go back, revise the invoice, so that invoice basically is void. That is in your packet. I will make sure that invoice is corrected. It will still have the out of scope on it because that was a totally different issue, but then you would be caught up to date with what you had agreed upon as far as fees, and then we would give you a clean proposal with a revised price that doesn't include any back charges in that calculation.
And I don't remember what your questions were that you had. It was.
So there was a couple of them, and again, that letter dealt with a number of issues that were more informational for the village. I do know there was one thing in there. There was a stipulation in there for jurisdiction. Obviously, we don't want to have litigation over the contract, but there was a stipulation. I don't remember which county it was. I remember it was somewhere on the west side.
I want to say it was Kent County, because I think that's where you guys are out of.
Yeah, and so that would be the thing is, I mean, that would be obviously something that, you know, if they wanted to have any, you know, arbitration or whatever have you, if there was and we hopefully never have to have any kind of legal stuff, but normally it defaults to where the main office is located, so.
But when you're in the case of a municipality, the municipalities are not supposed to be sued outside of the county that they reside in, and so that, you know, there was an issue there, and there's a conversation there that we can have offline.
And I think those are, you know, minimal changes, and I think that can all be worked out. I know the big sticking point was the price, but I think having talked to Tina, you know, and I think there were also some concerns about other items that have to be done to, you know, reconcile things with the village as far as services, and we also had, you know, recent Eagle inspection that we're working through with Eagle, and so hopefully all those issues will be going to bed. Tina knows now that I am her direct contact, and any of you in regard to anything regarding, you know, performance or whatever, and we are going to be trying to provide, you know, a level of customer service consistent with what we want to give you guys in regard to that agreement. Any other questions? Or?
So obviously we're not going to approve the contract tonight because we don't have those final figures or
both
anything
of those
like that.
documents are void at this point.
Thank you.
Approve money to pay them yet, I mean,
Well, no, I'm paying the original bill.
right.
Because that's what we would have originally been paying anyway. So that invoice is.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far behind what I was gonna get at.
No, that's why I said I didn't want things like that also tied into the new contract because I wanted to pay it up front, just like we would have just for our auditor, tie up loose ends for each fiscal year and things like that. So.
Do we know why we weren't getting invoiced?
That was a clerical issue on our end. Honestly, that was within our own finance department, which obviously there's been some performance-related issues there to discuss. So I think what happened is basically with, you know, our original contract, I think had an anniversary date of like November.
Yeah. And
so basically at that point in time, because a new project number wasn't generated, it kind of dropped out of the system as far as invoicing. So that's will all be resolved.
So basically, we took care of number 3 under unfinished business and number 1 under new business.
It's efficiency for you.
So we cover them both?
We did cover them both.
Yeah.
Guess I want to do one more motion then, yeah?
Yes, sir.
I'll make that motion to adjourn, please.
I'll second.
Moving second to adjourn, everybody say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank everybody for coming on. Halfway sunny night.
Thank you.
It's not raining.
How are you? Good. It's been a while. Feels like that long. Yeah, come on.
Yep, start on Monday, if you want to have one, let me know, I'll come pick it out.
Suzy, you don't make for us.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
But yeah,
Johnny and
anytime
Nick are the
if
same
you have
age.
one and
Okay. So, and then they of course snowboard together and, you know, everything else together.
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Yeah, no problem.
It does go way too quick.
You can't get out. Right there we go. There's the hands.
Oh,
We're tired of.
John's surgery on Thursday, so.
So you have